being played, baseball, basketball, football, ice hockey, everything else. They're getting sprains all over the place. What are they doing? They're taking a hot and cold towel and hot and cold aspirations. That is cold. That's horse and buggy in adverse to a UFO. You take a magnet, a strong Gauss magnet, wrap it around there. There'll be no swelling because the swelling comes from the white blood cells, the leukocytes and macrophages, trying to stop any germs and bacteria from that break or tear or sprain, okay? There won't be because the germ cannot live in a strong magnetic field. So now all you're going to do is getting blood drawn down there. The iron in the blood would be drawn to the magnet, and the healing starts immediately. If it takes 8 weeks, it'll take 4 weeks. If it takes 2 weeks, it'll take 1 week. You heal twice as fast because now you're using magnetism. Drink magnetic water, sleep on a magnetic mattress pad, use a diode, and watch what happens, how the healing thing, it's almost miraculous what happens because we're now getting in time we're supposed to use higher consciousness for higher forms of treatment and not the old horse and buggy reptile things.
Okay. Red Pill, you still there?
Yeah, I'm definitely still here.
What you think about the show so far, Red Pill?
I'm going to have to go back and rewind it and play it piece by piece because it's so informative.
Make sure you send me a copy, too, because I've let a whole lot out tonight because I like Brother Rich and I like the response. And if they say the Creator wants everybody to wake up, and if I can be a vessel or two, I want to do it well.
No doubt, definitely. I wanted to ask you a question, though, because I've noticed that you said about slaying the beast within. And I just did a YouTube clip, and I put that inside of the clip, and it's very, ironic that you mentioned that. Can you go a little bit further? Because I know a lot of people, including our listening audience, as well as other people, are struggling with this enemy that they have within. You know what I'm saying? And for people to pay attention to, themselves and everybody around them, they can notice that this fight is starting to really take place. So do you have any more wisdom to add on to that?
Well, my wisdom comes from the universal prime creator, so the wisdom is endless and boundless. All I have to do is raise my vibes and be strong enough to get those higher magnetic currents. And you guys have given me enough strength and energy to do so, so let's hope it flows, okay? There was what they call the Merkaba. And in the Kabbalah, and so it shows again that the Mer means wave or movement or water. The Ka-Naba are the spirit and the soul. And the Allah is the highermost that reaches through and coordinates all of that. So the Makahaba gives you a vehicle of life, the Ka-Naba. This is what pyramids were used for originally, for transportation devices, and those that were in the Confederation had them everywhere that they went. This is what your consciousness does when you begin to raise it, and when you meditate before going to sleep at night and give orders instead of parking your car in a bad neighborhood, you take your car, lock the doors, and tell it exactly where it's supposed to go, lock it up, and leave, okay? Any time that you can begin to work with a higher consciousness within you, you're killing off the beast. There's an animal brain within us, right down there in the lower portions of it, right beneath the orchid gland. There's an animal brain at the top of our spine. That is the top of the sapora, the caduceus, the sleeves that must be slain, the nubogastric, ida pingala nerves which wrap around the spine. It is a risen Christe, not Christ Jesus, but Christ, like Krista and Krishna and Buddha, the raised one and the high one and the knowing one and the black one. So when you raise that to get to that pineal gland blackness up there again, you now have the energies running the right way, and you're past the animal. The animal is subdued. You are now using it as you want to, using the superpower of the magnet, using the superpower of the beast to be controlled. Not like the sister said, getting angry and losing a temper. You raise that temper to bring temporal energy to raise it to the consciousness, and you can do more from the higher planes to the physical than you can from the physical to the higher planes. It's a matter of ascension, the ascension consciousness, the ascension time, and the ascension things that you can use to do it. Gold, chlorophyll, getting rid of the poisons, the heavy meats, the aspartame, all the stupidity that we've been told to use. Raise the things that will help you to raise your consciousness. The animal and beast is subdued. You now control the beast. Release it when you want to, in the way you want to. It doesn't control it. You control it. It doesn't control you. You control it.
No doubt.
Okay. Dr. Blaire, what are some ways a lot of people are with the way the economy's going and all the talk on the news about the collapse, well, not the collapse but the recession. What are some ways spiritually that people could generate money and be more self-sufficient?
Well, spiritually, you're always sufficient. but they induce fear, and then they play the game unequal. All of these people that had these banks, and you know, from Neiman Brothers, and I don't even want to go into all that. Everybody hears that every day in the news. They now broke the bank. They broke the bank by taking your money, which they don't print enough of anyway. There's more money in print. There's less money in print than in circulation. So there's no gold backing. There's nothing backing again. So the fear came when they took away the jobs. The fear came when they told you that plagues were coming, and swine flu, and African flu, and China flu, and bird flu, and every other daggone flu. Then they tell you again they're going to, they bailed out everybody. Everybody will be filing bankruptcy anyway. They file bankruptcy, start all anew. They tell you don't go to loan modification, loan mediation. They didn't do it. They are supporting with paper money everything that paper money won't support. The thing comes from those who do the toil, those who have the skills, those who build the things, those who understand the things. They pay them not to build anymore, but to do things that are detrimental. The fear has come about, and the money stopped because they cut off the money flow. They want to introduce the Enroll. They want to introduce one world currency. They want everybody to suffer. They want to get rid of, if you remember that report from Iron Mountain way back in, what was that, back in 78 or so, that stated at the conclusion that they had a study for the feasibility and possibility of peace. Imagine taking a year and a half to study, could there be peace? Their conclusion was, no, there cannot be peace on this planet, because you must control the economy, you must control the means of production, you must control the minds, and they stated that they could easily, suggested, get rid of 3.5 million people here in the United States, 5.5 billion off the planet, calling them useless eaters and growing weeds. That's the end of that report. So anytime you have that functioning, you understand what you're up against. The whole point is, again, they're making things bad. If you think that things are good, and you work toward those things that you need, not want, you'll get them. There'll always be a way that you'll get them. But once you start going through their methodology and try to satisfy them, as soon as you satisfy them, they cut it off because they never want you satisfied. It's a matter then of beginning to do, as the brothers are doing out there, sell what you can sell. Don't steal it. Sell it. Get it. Work with what you have. Everybody has a talent, and when you can do that talent, you create things that people will want. And if the money goes bad, barter and exchange gift for gifts, because pretty soon you're going to be faced with having to do what skill to support another skill. All this would be wonderful if you didn't have something working against you that wants it all to fail. Every time you ascend, they try to bring you down. So you're going to have enough courage to understand that you all have talents. They're all things that people can do. If necessary, exchange those talents for not money, but for shelter. Exchange those talents for the things that are good. It's not going to be too much longer you have to hold out. You can hold out another year, which is going to be hell, but it's going to be possible. You'd be surprised how things will change. The very factions that are on top now will soon be subdued. The thing is, will the subduers be any more kinder or worse than they were? That depends on how much you understand your subduers. This planet is already being taken over. This country is being taken over. The banking system is being taken over. The Chinese already own you. The Chinese ports are there. But again, the Chinese also have as their guide Buddha. Buddha was black. In Cambodia and Laos, he was black. They still understand where their spiritual qualities lie. It's the Dracons that control all of that. Once they're rid of, people can live together. There'll be no saying the fear, because you'll be exchanging the gifts of consciousness, not the gifts of physicality.
Mm-hmm. Do you recommend anybody leaving the country? Like, I know some brothers that say they rather just leave the country and go somewhere else. I mean, is that something that you would recommend? Or
yeah, where else are they going to go? Go anywhere you think you're safe, and try to do it now. If you can get transportation, if you can get passports and stuff, if you can go wherever you think is good. The thing is, what's good for one may not be good for another, and all lands will be affected. All lands will come under. All lands in Sumer and like they were over in Cambodia when they fought over Vietnam and Laos. They were supposed to be there trying to kill off the black gods and the black consciousness. We're over there now in Afghanistan. We're over there in, Iraq. That's old Sumer in Mesopotamia 1. We're coming back into consciousness. It's not too much longer what these Dracons rule. They have you fighting yourselves. And as long as you're fighting yourself, there's not enough money to go around, there's not enough spirituality to go around, there's not enough good food to go around. But there's plenty that the earth will still produce. The thing is getting in tune with your earth and getting rid of their consciousness. Stop being so fearful of them and do for self. Pay the bills that will put food in your mouth and keep your shelter. Forget paying them. They don't pay themselves. And they're going to soon devalue the money. Get things that you can use when the money is devalued. Do things that can get you into a community when the money is devalued. Run wherever you think you can run.